Hello, welcome to UTP Presents. I'm Anna Silver, and today my guests are R.K. Williams and Lori Sprague from the Veteran Services here at Boise State. And I would like to thank you both so much for coming today. How are you doing?
We're well. Thank you very much for the invite.
Thank you for inviting us, Anna.
Absolutely. And why don't you introduce yourself and what your background is to get here at the Veteran Center?
I'm Lori Sprague. I'm one of the school certifying officials here. I've been working for Boise State for 4 years. I started as a work study in the Veteran Center with R.K.
Very good. What about you, R.K.?
R.K. Williams, Coordinator of Veteran Services, and I've been doing this for like 24 years. Taking care of the vets, that's my main purpose. I spent 20 years, a little more than 20 years in the military before I got out. I retired from the military. And then I came to Boise because I was out at Mountain Home, moved to Boise, just goofed around. I did some sports officiating. Then I went to work for the Raintree Deli. The Raintree Deli used to be right across from the Capitol building. And I was in there and I was making sandwiches, and this guy came up and I asked him, "What would you like, sir?" And he said he didn't know. So I said, "Okay, you and this lady switch places and move on down." So I took her order, made the sandwich. I took his after that, made the sandwich. And when it got down to the end where he had to pay for it, Roger, the owner, he goes, "Here's your sandwich." He goes, "That's not my sandwich," the guy that I had talked to. He goes, "That's not my sandwich. That's not what I ordered." I sat up, and looked, and I went, "Yeah, it is," because Roger says, "Who made the sandwich?" I said, "I did." I said, "And that's what he ordered." "No, I didn't order. That's what the guy says." So I said, "No, you ordered that sandwich." I said, "The reason why I know you ordered the sandwich is because I had you and that young lady switch places, and you ordered the sandwich. So don't tell me that I'm lying." And I'm getting a little loud. He's getting loud, and the place is full of people. Okay, so we calmed down. And I moved on to the next lady after a second or two. "Can I help you, ma'am?" Got finished with that day, and I went downstairs and I told Roger, I said, "Roger, I have to quit because if the same thing happens again, I'm going to be the same way, and I don't want to mess up your business." Which in turn was a good thing for me because it led me to decide to go back to school. Hence, I came to Boise State. So me being in the military for 20 plus years, I had to decide on what I was going to do. I decided on a theater major because after 20 years of having to shave, keep my hair a certain way, keep my uniform a certain way, I figured that theater would help me get rid of all these militaryisms that I had. And it did, I think. My sister doesn't agree with that, but it does. She does. It did. And then while I was going to school, I became a work study for the school certifying official. That's what Lori does now. And the lady that I worked for, she didn't quite do what she needed to do for the vets, but she kept trying to retire and unretire. And I graduated in '93. They said, "R.K., do you want the job?" I said, "Sure, I'll take the job." And I've been doing it ever since.
Well, that's an awesome story. Very interesting. Sounds like you've got a lot of different background there. Could you tell me about the history of the Veteran Services here at Boise State?
We had, when I first started, we would wear, we had a little 12 by 16 office, a couple of desks. I was servicing like 750 vets, so they all couldn't get in there at the same time. Because for the GI Bill, you have to sign up for me. I have to let the VA know that you're going to school, then you can get your money. So I had a little table outside where they would sit down and fill out their cards, which wasn't too bad because I myself managed to keep up, and I would have 1, 2, or 3 work studies, which Lori wound up being one after that. Then we moved from the cubby hole, as I call it, we moved over to the Alumni Center. And that was nice because we had a whole wing of the Alumni Center, which gave us we had a reception area, a computer lab, a conference room that was tiny, and then Lori's office, my office, and on the other side, there was 5 other offices over there. So it was good. And then we found out, what, 2, 3 years later, that they were going to tear it down.
Oh, no.
So We got some help from the Vice President of Student Special Services and the Dean of Students, and she secured us a space in the Lincoln parking garage on the bottom floor. And they combined us with DRC,
Disability
Resource Center. And that's where we are now.
Very good. And RK, you're coming up on your 24th year at the Veteran Services, correct?
That's right. And I'm fixing to ease out the door and retire.
Well, we won't let you go yet.
Okay.
So what is the goal or purpose of the Veteran Services here at Boise State?
Our goal is to make sure that veterans are making the right informed decision with their benefits. Not only is it educational with their benefits, it's to get them in touch with other veterans on campus so that they understand that all of the veterans are going through this issue of transitioning from the military to the college life, because it is kind of a little bit difficult because we go from this regimen of everybody tells us what to do to having to almost have to think for ourselves in college.
Very good. RK, do you have anything to add to that?
Just a teeny bit. This is she calls it my motto, mantra or something, but the purpose of Veteran Services is to make sure that all veterans and their dependents that come here to go to school to make their educational experience, endeavor, whatever you want to call it, as stress-free as possible. So whatever we can do to make sure that they get their money on time, we do. And now we have a lounge. We got a big area, and it's working great because they're coming in all the time. Our computer lab has even picked up use.
Speaking of that, do you arrange any social events for the veterans?
Not yet.
Not yet, no.
But we're gonna. Because once the lounge opens, it'll be strictly for them. They'll have a pool table in there and a huge television. So I imagine that when football season comes around, we'll be able to have folks come on in there and watch the game and stuff.
Okay. And you mentioned that you have computer access for them, is that correct?
We got a computer lab. Right now it has 5 computers, and they can come in and use that free of charge. We ask that they only print, if they have to print a lot of paper, we ask that they only use half a ream. And I think we've changed that so that if they decide they're going to use 250 sheets of paper, that they bring in a ream, you know, because we don't have that big a budget to replenish our paper.
All right. And you've been talking about this already, but what kind of services do you offer at the center?
Go ahead.
So we offer the GI Bill service, obviously, but we have Department of Labor is there weekly now to help veterans try and find jobs. They don't have to be a student. It can be just anybody from the public as well. And we're working on getting Idaho State Voc Rehab so they can help other veterans, but not just veterans. It's going to help all students involved on campus. We also have Vet Success. They're here to help veterans understand what benefits they may be entitled to that they really didn't know that they had.
And what about you, RK?
We have those two. When they come in, they get the counseling that they need. They get the help that they need from those two folks. We help them find jobs, internships sometimes. We try to do that. The Vet Success, they can give them information on housing, death benefits, the hospital, all of that stuff. And the other thing is that we want to, if you were to come in to the vet center and say you're a vet and you're thinking about going to school, you want to know how to use your GI Bill, we'll take all of that stuff, we'll give you the information that you need, and then if you accidentally say, well, I don't plan on attending Boise State, doesn't matter to us where you go to school. We want you to come into the office, get the information that you need so you can go out and pursue your educational career as best you can.
Great. Well, that's good that you reach out to those veterans who aren't going to Boise State as well. Also, you said that you have counseling. Are you equipped with a counselor in the Veteran Center?
Yes.
We have a counselor, but way back when, 24 years ago, I was the counselor. I'm not a licensed counselor, don't claim to be, but when a veteran comes in the office and they sit down in my little chair that I had there and they start telling me a story and they start crying, I would feel obligated to listen to them so I could possibly help them or guide them somewhere where they needed to go. Sometimes I would have to ask the work study to go outside and just don't let anybody in. But some of the things that, and these are Vietnam vets, Afghanistan vets, Iraqi vets, Kuwaiti vets, all of them, they come in there, and I've had males and females do this. So it made me a good listener, okay? I don't try to give suggestions unless they ask. Sometimes I do, but I can always guide them in the right direction. Now we have a vet success person there who is a licensed counselor, so it helps us, and Lori and I don't get too many because he can't take care of all of them. So we try to just give the vets a place where they can, I don't want to say transition, I don't like that, reintegrate themselves into society again. Because once they get through with their college experience, they're going to move on out into civilian life, and we want them to be prepared to do that.
Very good. Well, even though you are not a licensed counselor, you have the experience and you've been in their shoes before, so it sounds like you're pretty equipped to help them as well.
I try.
Moving along, I would just like to know what the Veterans Textbook Lending Library is.
That's definitely her.
So there's a lot of veterans who don't get the book money from the VA with their GI Bill. They're very limited on funding, and so we've seen this need. And we have this library. It's probably got maybe 200 books now in there that people can borrow books and bring them back at the end of the semester because they can't afford to get their books on time, or it's not available at the time because this semester was a little rough, that books weren't there yet. So, but it's more for those that can afford the books. So.
And that's free of charge for veterans?
It is.
Very good. And so who would be eligible for the GI Bill?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You're going into a... it's hard to explain because there's 5 different programs. There's Chapter 30, 31, which is voc rehab, Chapter 33, which is the post 9/11, then there's 1606 and 1607. There are others besides those 5, but they're kind of vintage. It's my word for that 3-letter word that I don't use. Anyway, they're vintage programs, and they're kind of phasing themselves out because Chapter 30 is headed that way too. But each one of those programs has their own specific rules for eligibility. So it's kind of, I don't know. But I will say this, if you have a vet or you meet a vet and they want to know about educational benefits, the best thing that you can do is send them to the Vet Services Center.
Yes.
And we'll take care of them.
Bottom line, right?
Bottom line.
And is the Veterans Upward Bound program, is that a part of the GI benefits?
No.
Nope.
All
It's a trio program that's set up, and what they do, it's free, all the classes that they get. What they do is help a veteran refresh themselves so that they can ease into school. And they help them with their English, their math, and stuff like that. Sorry. But anyway, it helps them refresh themselves, and then they come on in to us. They might stay there for a semester, if you want to call it a semester, because they don't have them. But for that time period, whatever it takes to refresh them, to get them ready to come into college again, that's what they do. And we work hand in hand with them.
Lori, do you have anything to add to that?
The biggest problem is math. People have been in the military for so long, they haven't had to do math since high school, and so Upward Bound sees a lot of people tutoring them with their math to get them ready so they don't have to take the remedial classes, and they can focus on their classes that are required for their major.
So it sounds like you do have some study skills, like workshops, or?
They do, yes.
Okay.
They actually have a teacher that teaches them. They give them access to the Alex program. They have classes available, and it's generally a semester or 2 prior to them being in the math classes.
Very good. Could you explain the yellow ribbon benefits?
So yellow ribbon for us, we use for our dependents that are receiving the post 9/11 GI Bill, who are being charged non-residence fees. Because as a veteran, we can gain residency either by automatic determination or give us 12 months to establish residency with honorable discharge from the military, where our dependents cannot. And so our yellow ribbon helps pick up that little bit of the non-residence fees. and because the VA will only pay in-state tuition. So that leaves them almost $6,500 a semester to pay, and the Yellow Ribbon pays $2,000 of that. So it helps a little bit.
Wow. Well, that's awesome that they offer that. RK, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, we're trying to get that improved so it'll be more attractive to students. And I think if we can get them to change it or get it changed, it'll help increase the vet population here. I know it will.
All right. Do you have any connection with Gowen Field or the Mountain Home Air Force Base?
Boise State puts on classes at Gowen Field and Mountain Home. And we go out there every now and then because we have to travel, and it's kind of limited when we can travel because of funds. But we go out there, but they are conditioned, like I said before, to encourage their vets, if they have a problem with any of the services there, to come into the vet center. And that's what they do.
Okay, and you spoke of traveling. Where else do you travel?
I think we still have a satellite's what I'm going to call it, campus out at Twin Falls, College of Southern Idaho. So that's the furthest we go that I know we have that. I'm not really sure because the lady that used to work there now works here. So I have to check it out.
Well, it'd be good to know maybe. So do you have any employment opportunities for the veterans here, or do you refer them to anyone after they graduate?
While they're going to school, participating, going to classes, as long as they're going 3/4 time, we have what we call a VA work-study program. It pays minimum wage, we know what that is, but it's tax-free for them. And all they have to do is sign up with us. We interview them. Sometimes they bring in a resume, sometimes they don't. But we interview them and we decide who we want, who we don't. Sometimes if we pick a person that, because when you come in the office, you might get the impression that there's nothing going on, okay? But when school starts, and just before it gets out, we get really busy. Really busy with people trying to register, do their declarations, get everything set up so they can get their money right. So we're busy. But if they don't see that, they might try to come on as a work study. And then once it gets real busy and they see all that, the bad ones take care of themselves because they just disappear. They just go away. It's too much work. It didn't look like it was that much work. We don't want to do that anymore. So the people that we do have that stick it out, they're good because they're vets and they want to take care of the vets.
It sounds like the system kind of works.
It does. It does.
We also refer them over to the regional office, the hospital. They have a lot of job opportunities for VA work study there. But for those that graduate, we have Sean Berlisle, the Vet Success Counselor that's there. He has resume writing that he can help them with, as well as the Department of Labor. We refer them to them because they have a veterans representative there as well.
Okay. And just out of curiosity, what kind of majors or fields do the veterans usually go into, or is there just a variety?
We have a few popular: engineering and business, as well as communication.
All right.
They're all over
And
the place.
nursing.
It depends on what they did in the military. We have construction management because they were in civil engineering. In our case, in the Air Force anyway, that's what they called them. So they do that. A lot of them, if they want to be lawyers or policemen, they go the political science route. So it's a myriad of things, but they get there.
Very good. And so you recently moved into a new location. I know that's very exciting for you from where you came from.
Yes.
What did it take to make that happen?
Wow. Okay. I'm glad you asked that, though,
Yes.
because we got great support from Dr. Harris, who's the
Vice President
of Student Affairs, and the Dean of Students, Dr. Chris Withridge, who's the Dean of Students, and Dr. Custra. All of them combined enabled us to move from the Alumni Center, since they tore it down. Otherwise we'd be homeless.
You would have to move.
We would be homeless. But anyway, they put us in the bottom where parking used to be, in a Lincoln garage. And we still get people coming in thinking we're parking. But they combined us with Disability Resource Center. So we're in there. And everybody comes in, they're taken care of. I think it changed the atmosphere for DRC as well as us, because our folks don't only deal with the vets, but they also deal with the Disability Resource Center folks. And that's kind of different, okay? I'm not saying that they're, well, I guess I am. Anyway, we take care of them. It gives the customer service a different look and feel for our vets, because we get vets that come in there, and because you're dealing with money, they're irate or frustrated. Most of them are frustrated. But when they come in there, excuse me, Lori can help them. I can too, but I refer them to Lori.
Send them to Lori.
I refer them to Lori because after 24 years, like I said, I'm trying to ease on into retirement. So, but they can still come in. If you, I'm gonna say this to everybody, if you have any vets or you get a vet, what you need to do is send them to the vet center so they can talk to Lori.
She's the person to talk to.
I guess so.
I know Lori and I kind of spoke about this earlier, but do you have any sort of open house or event going on for that, for the new building?
Coming up Monday.
Really?
Monday is the inaugural opening of the Veterans Lounge. Matter of fact, they're putting the pool table together right now. The TV will be in there. I think the only thing that we might be lacking is the refrigerator, but we're going to get that too. So that's the only thing, and then the only other special event is, of course, my retirement.
And that is very special. Are you going to make it 25?
No. No. This is going to be hers.
The even numbers are better anyways.
Right, right.
And do you have anything to add to that, Lori?
So in our lounge, we have nice lounge chairs and couches, and it's just to go and relax between classes. Either you can do homework or just relax until it's time for class and relieve those stressors of the day.
Do you do any advertisement for that, or the veterans on campus kind of already know about it because they've been through the process coming in?
I can guarantee you that once we open it up Monday, it'll be a busy place.
And is that open to the public or just the veterans?
We like to just for the veterans because that's what it is. It is a veterans lounge. But I'm not going to say we're going to turn somebody away if they want to come in.
But if somebody wanted to come in and just check out the facility in a given day, would that be okay?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're very proud of our center, and we would like to show that off to as many people that would like to come and see it.
Yeah. Well, I know I saw it, and it's very nice. So, what do you recommend to a new veteran coming in? What's the first advice that you could give them?
Should we say this together?
Come to the vet center. That's the first thing you have to do, because we have processes you have to follow. So it's always good to check in with the vet center, whatever school you go to, honestly, so that you know what you need to do so that you're getting your money on time.
It hasn't failed me in 24 years, so I still say that anytime a vet comes in, if they talk to anybody and they find out they're a vet, they need to send them to the vet center, because everything that they need, they'll get right there.
All right, and so the Warhawk Museum in Nampa is actually holding a commemoration for the 50th year of the Vietnam War, and they're holding symposiums just to get the word out there, to inform the public. It's open to anyone. Is that something you would recommend a veteran here on Boise State to attend?
If they give us brochures or any kind of literature so we can put it up to advertise for them, we would probably do that. Me, myself, being a Vietnam vet, I don't know, I'm kind of afraid to look at stuff and go to that stuff, because every time the wall, I've been to DC a couple of times, and I have yet to be able to walk by that wall that's there, even the traveling wall when it comes. I can't do it. So this I might be able to do.
Right.
But there are some barriers that I have to conquer to get through that, but I'm thinking about it. I really am.
I know it's sensitive for a lot of vets, but maybe the more recent vets, is it good for them to be informed on the previous wars?
I think so.
I think it is, because the way that Vietnam vets have been treated is the reason why I won't let them be treated that way.
Right.
Because I put my neck on the chopping block quite a bit, and I'll probably do it again before I retire too.
I think it's very important for the general public to be more informed on that as well, because I think that there's a certain stigma attached to it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Anything you want to add to that, Lori?
I think it's really important because Vietnam was not treated the way that our veterans are now. So they didn't have the welcome home as we do when they come home now. So to see that the difference, veterans now to what veterans were before, I think it'd be very educational for them, as well as enlightening to see the struggles they're not going through.
And it's very important to know about the past in order to prevent something from happening again, or because the history tends to repeat itself. So
Absolutely.
Be informed on that. That's my opinion. What do you have to say, R.K.?
Nothing. That's fine. That's fine. It's just that our goal, my goal, and now I hope it's our goal, is to not let that happen to these folks coming back now.
Right. I agree. So how could someone keep up to date? Do you have a Facebook page or a newsletter that goes out?
we have Facebook. We try and keep things updated on that. We often have things that people have donated to us, like basketball tickets that we put on there and try and advertise for people to win them. So we try and keep it involving, but there's also our website. All our information is on there. We send out communication via email, but we have a newsletter as well.
Okay. Anything like you would like to add, R.K.?
Nope, she covered it great.
He doesn't do the Facebook.
All right, and we are wrapping up. Is there anything else that you would like to add today that we didn't cover maybe?
Once again, I guess Lori and I have to thank President Custra, Dr. Harris, Dr. Withridge for their support for the vets, and I hope that they keep it up so that we can keep moving forward for our vets here at Boise State.
Great. And I think it's a great tool to have this access for the veterans here. It's something that is really necessary for them to go through college.
Absolutely.
And I also want to thank you for giving us a chance to do this so that other folks can learn.
Absolutely. And that's what I wanted to do, and also get the word out about your open house, hopefully.
Yes.
That's very exciting.
Yes.
Monday, 1:30?
1:30.
Okay.
All right. Anything else, Lori?
Just reiterate the support that we're receiving, and we're very appreciative of it.
Very good. I just want to thank you both so much for coming today.
Thank you, Anna.
And that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for tuning in to UTP Presents. I'm Anna Silver, and have a great day.